Okay, we're going to go ahead and start going over the syllabus. Y'all can keep on working on that and finish that up. I'm just going to have you turn it on the table at the end of class. Okay, so this is Math 131, Intermediate Algebra. My name is Mrs. Bean. I'll be the instructor for the course. I've been here at A&M Commerce. This is my 4th year here. I taught high school for 5 years before that. I taught at Paris Junior College, so I've taught this class a lot, actually. My office is in Binion 311. And if you, come on in, if you need to ever come to office hours or tutoring or want to come talk to me, feel free to do that. What's your name? Say again? Okay. Math intermediate algebra? Okay. Did you enroll like since last night? Okay. I don't remember seeing you on the roster. Let's see. What's your last name? McDonald. I printed this off yesterday, but maybe you were adding some things here in the class. Okay. So yes, my office is in Binion, room 311. And my office hours are basically before this class, or I teach 3 classes back to back in here. So I teach after this class, I teach college algebra. And then after that, I teach this class again at 11 o'clock. And so I'm in this classroom until 12 o'clock, and then I'll be back in my office after that for a couple hours every day. So feel free to, sorry, I tried to silence this. Feel free to come meet me in my office if you want to contact me. Other than talking to me in class, the best way to contact me is through email, and I try to check my email every day, at least at one point during the day, so I'll respond pretty quickly after that. Okay, so you do not need a textbook for this class. You are enrolled in this class through D2L, and your textbook is online. So real fast, when you log into D2L today, this is what it's going to say. If you have not completed this training, you will be logged, or you'll be like kicked out of D2L, and you have to do it by 12 o'clock today. So if you've not done this training yet, go do this training, or else you're going to be kicked out until you do the training. And it's like really a long process to get you back in. So, I mean, like if you haven't done it, I'd get out your phone and do it real fast. It takes like a couple minutes to do. So make sure you do this training. You click on that link. Like when you log into D2L, this pops up, click on that link, go to it, and it'll take you to the training. So make sure you do that before 12 o'clock today, because it will kick you out of all your classes, and it's really frustrating to get back in. Okay. And for whatever reason, like I did that training in December and I'm still having to click it. So you have to keep on clicking it, and I guess till after today. And that's the COVID training, just saying you understand all the rules and everything. Okay. So once you're in D2L, this is like what the home screen looks like. Sorry, give it a minute. And your courses are up here on this grid. If you click on that, that's all the courses you're enrolled in. And this course is 131.01B. So if you click on that course, it'll take you to this page. Let me change it to where it looks like what you see. Okay, so this is what the course looks like. There is lots of different things on this course. First of all, trying to see where I want to get started. If you click on the content section, here's where everything you need in here. Let's talk about Math Excel. This is what your homework's going to be. So if you click on Math Excel, you have lots of different options here, homework or assignments. It's the same thing. You click on that, and this is where you're going to do your homework for the course. So the first time you do it, I believe there's a box you have to check. I don't think I have to, but you may have to like check a box saying I've read and accepted, whatever. But usually you have to do it in a new window. And so if you open it up in a new window, here is the homework for the course. And you have, that shouldn't be on there. I need to change that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 assignments. I'm gonna fix that. Don't worry about that. And it tells you when they're due. So they're all due on the 20th. Each assignment is super short. Okay, so 5 questions. It should take you like 5-10 minutes to do each assignment in here. The orientation is like, click on this, like making sure you know how to use a computer basically. So it shows you how to use a calculator and that sort of thing. So those are all so 4 assignments. Don't do this one. I'm going to take that one off. So those 4 assignments are the ones that are due for the course. Okay, so this is how you do your homework. Let me go ahead and click. So you click on the assignment, you click on the question, and it gives you the question, and you work it out, and then you save it when you're finished. Okay, so just make sure you save it. And I think it's down here at the bottom where you can't, there you go, check answer, and you can save it that way. Okay, so how do I get out of here now? Oh, it saves up here. So I didn't do it right. Oh, there wasn't anything to save. But if you do, it has an X or a check mark. If you have an X, you can go back and redo it over and over and over again until you get it right. Okay, so you have the ability to make 100 on all your assignments in here. I think each problem you get like 2 or 3 chances, and then it gives you a brand new problem after that. But you can keep on getting a new problem until you get it correct. Okay, so that's the homework. Are there questions about the homework? It's pretty straightforward once you get going on it. If you will look at the yellow sheet I gave you, this is like the game plan for the class, like the layout for the whole class. And I mean, it's subject to change, but I think this is pretty much what we're going to do for the course. So this is called a blended course, and that means that you're going to be doing half the class face-to-face and half class online. Okay, so I have laid out the whole entire semester for you to show you when we're face-to-face and when we're online. So keep up with this. This is also on D2L. I posted it. I was about to sneeze. I posted it under so syllabus and agenda. It's right here at Monday, Wednesday, Friday agenda. So it's there if you do lose this paper, if you don't have this paper with you. But you'll notice each day says face-to-face or online. So today we are face-to-face. This is what we're doing today, syllabus, and then these sections, we're not gonna get through all of them, but we're gonna start them. And then this is your homework for the day, okay? On Wednesday, you are viewing your lectures online, and this is the lectures that you're viewing online, and there's your homework for that day. On Friday, you're viewing lectures online, so we're not coming back to class on Wednesday or Friday, okay? And then there's your homework for that day. Monday is a holiday. You can't really read that very well, but it's Martin Luther King Day. Wednesday, we're back to face-to-face. So the next time I'll see you in this class is next Wednesday, okay? And you'll see that all the way down. All the reviews I've made face-to-face for the exam, and all the exams are face-to-face, and then the lectures are kind of switched back and forth, online or face-to-face, okay? And the goal is you're going to watch your lectures online, and then when we're face-to-face, we're going to be like working out problems and practicing and asking questions and that sort of thing. Okay. So when you view your lectures online, it will be in the content section. You click on week 1, and Wednesday we're online. So here's the link to the video. And these are the videos. It's on YouTube. But these are the videos. So there you go. Okay, so last time we went over these are the videos from last semester when I taught this class in class. So it's like you'll hear students talking. You'll just see this the whole time, like my paper, obviously. But so there you go. So you'll see like my paper the whole time. But it's the in-class thing. So just a FYI, like they may ask a question like, when's the test? Or I might say like, I'll see you on Monday. Like, ignore that kind of stuff, okay? Because this is like last semester, and I'll say like the test is in September, and that won't affect you, okay? So like the few little statements about make sure you get this done, like ignore all those statements. Like you're just here for the math information, okay? So you're gonna view that lecture. This one is, they're all less than 45 minutes. This one is 41 minutes, okay? Because it was a 50-minute class, so it's less than 45 minutes. And you're taking notes the whole time you do it. And then your attendance for watching those lectures online is submitting a copy of your notes. So you're just, you click on this, it's an assignment, you're uploading a copy of your notes, and I want you to upload it as a PDF document. So if you don't know how to make a PDF document, I have a video that I made yesterday on how to make a PDF document, and I'll post that on Wednesday's videos also. Okay, so you just upload your document, show me your notes that you took, like all the pages of your notes you took, and then you get 100 just for doing your notes. Okay, so super duper easy. This is due on at midnight on Wednesday. So you have to do it sometime on Wednesday. I would encourage you to go ahead and do it during class time, just so you have that schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 o'clock. I do my math every day, but it's totally up to you. Okay. So the days that we are not on campus, that you're viewing your lectures online, you have to upload a copy of your notes. Does everybody understand that? And that's a grade. You get, I mean, literally, I look at it and see if you did it and you get 100 for it. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. And so let me go back to this. So here's Wednesday. Here's the video for Wednesday. Here's the notes for Wednesday. On Friday, I have two different videos, but they're like, this one's 20 minutes and this one's like 12 minutes. Okay, so it's not going to be more than 45 minutes total for the video. So there's two videos on Friday, and then here's where you're going to upload Friday's notes. Okay, I don't have week 2 done yet. I'm working on that this week, but that's what every week's going to look like. So if we have one day that you're viewing things online, you'll have one day on the D2L of the things you need to do. Questions about that at all? Okay, so again, it's due that day. So Wednesday's notes are due on Wednesday at midnight. Friday's notes are due on Friday at midnight. And then you also have homework assignments with the Math Excel when you click on that. And those homework assignments, you have a week to do those. Okay, so this opened up today, so it's due. I was going to make it due next Monday, but Monday's a holiday, so I made it due next Wednesday. But for the most part, everything's like, if it opens on Monday, it's due on a Monday. If it opens on a Wednesday, it's due on a Wednesday. Okay, so this is the, oh, let me switch back over to this one. This is the whole entire semester. Okay, so you can like plan the whole entire semester. If you have a planner, write it down. If you use your phone on the face-to-face classes, set an alarm for those days to make sure you come to class those days. Also, we don't have spring break this semester, just a heads up. There's no spring break because they're not wanting everybody to go home and hopefully not be exposed and then come back. So there's no spring break this semester. But since we're kind of online, you know, face-to-face, hopefully that kind of works out to where if you needed to go home or want to go like on vacation or whatever, you can still do your stuff online that way. Okay. So, and we finish a little bit early. We finish in April, so we don't even go into May. And actually this class ends a little bit early because we do our final exam the week before. So this class actually ends on April 21st. So it's a quicker semester than normal. Are there questions about this at all? Okay, so don't lose this. If you do, it is on D2L. Okay, so I'm going to go through the syllabus, but that was the main stuff for the course. So for the syllabus, you don't need a textbook because it's online. All of your homework questions are online. In class, we're obviously in a social distance classroom and you have to wear a mask during class. I'll wear my mask. I'll take my mask down to teach, but then like after I'm done teaching, if I'm like around y'all, I'll put my mask back up. So we're taking notes in class. We're taking notes at home. We're watching videos. I'm like presenting stuff face to face. So like the instructional methods are just kind of different for this course. One thing about this course is if you are enrolled in this course, you are also enrolled in another math class. So college algebra or business math. Is anybody enrolled in business math that you know of? Okay, good. College algebra is the best one to be enrolled in. So this is called a co-requisite course. Basically, you did not score high enough on some tests to get you into college algebra, okay? So college algebra, you can get into like with your SAT scores or ACT scores or taking the TSI before school starts. And basically, your test told us that you're not quite ready for college algebra. You need a little extra help. So that's what this class is a little extra help. And it's like just in time help. So the idea is if you are in college algebra, and you're learning about quadratic functions. To learn about quadratic functions, you have to know how to factor, you have to know how to multiply, you have to know how to do like all these things beforehand. I'm going to teach you all the things beforehand, like the week or two before, so that you're ready for that quadratic functions in college algebra. Okay, so the stuff we're doing here, a little bit of it will overlap, but it kind of will seem like this isn't helping me at all, but it's more in the middle of a problem, you need to factor it, and I'm going to teach you how to factor. Okay, so that's kind of the idea is it's like I'm giving you the skills you need to do bits and pieces of your college algebra stuff. There are some lessons that I can like help out with and that sort of thing. But in general, this is just like giving you the skills you need to be successful in college algebra. So this class on its own, if you look at it on paper, it's so jumpy. Like it's like we learned this day and then we learned this random thing over here and this random thing over here. But it's because I have it set up so that you are ready for what you need in college algebra. Okay. All that to say, college algebra, when you go to class today or tomorrow, it's probably going to be overwhelming. And that's because I haven't had a week or two to prepare you for your first day of college algebra. So just a heads up, like the first week or two of college algebra is going to seem like overwhelming and probably like, I can't do this. Like, just let's get through the first couple of weeks and it'll get better. Okay. In college algebra, the first thing you're going to be doing the first week, you're going to be studying for your competency exam. The competency exam in college algebra is an exam, or it's like a test to see, are you ready for it? And which we already know that technically y'all aren't ready for it. Okay. So you get 3 chances to take that. Probably the first time you take it, you're probably not going to pass it. And like, that's totally expected. Okay. So just like prepare for that at this point, and we will learn all the things to pass it by the second or third time. Okay, that's kind of a downer at this point, but I just want you to be prepared. Like, don't feel like you need to drop that class because you fail it the first time, because like technically you're not ready for it. But that's what we're going over. The first 2 and 3 weeks in this class, we're learning all the things for the comp exam, and then we'll start getting into the things you need to know for like that first week of actual lectures in college algebra. Does that make sense? Kind of. Okay. Let's see what else we need on this. The grading policy. Your homework, quizzes, and all your notes that you're turning in, those are 15% of your grade. In this class, there are major quizzes instead of tests. The idea is it's a shorter, like an exam usually is like 20 questions. A major quiz is like 10 to 12 questions. So it's a shorter test and it happens more often. And students tend to do better on the shorter, more often tests than they do on the longer, like just midterm and final exam. So that's why we have major quizzes. There are 4 of those. And then there's a final exam, a comprehensive final exam. It's the second to last week of class. If you miss an exam, depending on the situation, lots of times there are not makeup exams, but if you do miss an exam and you get a 0 on an exam, your final exam will replace your lowest exam grade. So we can always use your final exam grade to replace that grade. It is important that you are attending class, especially since we're only meeting in face-to-face like 27 times this semester instead of the normal 45 times we meet. It's important that you're here in class for those face-to-face times. If I sent this in the email before the semester, but if you are sick or if you are exposed or if you've tested positive for COVID, we obviously do not want you in class, and there is a Zoom option then. And that Zoom option is specifically if you're sick or quarantined or have tested positive at that point. Okay, so that Zoom option isn't for, it's kind of cold today, I'm just going to stay home today. That's not really the option for that Zoom meeting. Okay. Especially since we're doing so much online anyways. So make sure that you are here unless you are sick. Do not come if you're sick, and email me and I'll get you the Zoom link and you can Zoom in on those days. Or if you're exposed or whatever. Let's see what else. I think that's the major part of it. Because the very end is the schedule, but I already have a more specific schedule. This is like a general schedule, and here's your more specific schedule. So you can also see all your test days on this yellow schedule. The first test is on February 1st, and then the second one's on February 26th. The third one is on February 19th, and then the fourth one is on, March 19th, and the fourth one's on April 7th. On the major quiz number 3, it should say face-to-face there, but I think that's kind of obvious at this point. Are there any questions about this class? Like the format of it or anything like that? Okay, so just know, go ahead.
When we have online classes, is it going to be on Zoom?
No, it's on there. So honestly, if you want to go home and do Wednesday and Friday's assignment today, that's totally fine. You just can't do it after Wednesday or after Friday. Okay, so it's not a Zoom meeting. It's not at 9 o'clock. It's there right now for you to do. Okay, so feel free to do it early if you want to, but you can't do it late. You have to do it by Wednesday at midnight and by Friday at midnight. Okay, so just be aware that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there's something to do, either in class, like you need to be here, or online. Okay, so any other questions other than that? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our first set of notes. We are going to cover section 2.4, which is interval notation. Okay, so interval notation, the word notation means the way of writing something. So this whole section is talking about how we write things that are written, that are an interval. Okay, so an interval is something that looks like this. This is an inequality. So if you think back, this is x is less than 4. So then the statement x is less than 4 means all numbers less than 4. So give me an example of a number that is less than 4. Say again. 2. What else? 1. About -5? Is that less than 4? Yeah. What about 0.2? Yeah. What about 3.5? Yeah. What about 3.9? What about 3.999? Right, like we could be here forever doing this, okay? So it's important to have a way to write all the numbers less than 4 because you literally cannot write them all out because we would be here forever, okay? Is the number 4 included in that set? No, because 4 is not less than 4. And we could draw a picture of it by graphing it on a number line. If you graph it on a number line, you would need the number 4 on your number line. A number before it would be 3. A number after it would be 5. We want all the numbers less than 4, and we don't want to include 4. So the way we show all the numbers less than 4 is we shade all the numbers to the left of 4, because those are the ones that are less than. And then there's 2 different ways to show that we're not including the number 4. You can do an open circle, and that's totally fine. Or another way is with a parenthesis. And this parenthesis will help us with the interval notation in a minute. Okay, let's do one that's greater than. What about if I had x is greater than -2? That means all numbers greater than -2, right? So give me, what's an example of a number that is greater than -2? -1 is greater than -2, yeah. What else? 5. What about 0? Yeah, 0 is greater than -2. What about -1.5? Yeah, that's greater than -2. What about -1.9? Yeah. What about -1.99999? So on and so forth. Yeah, greater than -2. Again, we'd be here all day writing them all out. So you can draw a picture of them on a number line. So -2 is going to be in the middle. A number smaller than -2 would be -3. A number bigger than -2 would be -1. All the numbers greater than -2 would be the numbers to the right of -2. We're going to shade all the numbers to the right of -2. And then are we including the number -2 here? No, so it's going to be a parenthesis. You could also do an open circle there, but parenthesis helps you with the interval notation we're going to do in a minute. Okay, now let's do if it's equal to also. So let's do the same problem before. X is less than 4, but let's do x is less than or equal to 4. So I could write my example here, like of numbers that are less than or equal to 4. It would be the same set of numbers as before, but what other number is also included? 4. Okay, because it can be less than or equal to. Those are our 2 different options here. So when I draw this on the number line, I'm going to have the number 4, a number before it 3, a number after it 5. I'm still going to shade all the numbers before the number 4 to the left of 4. But this time I want to include 4. You could do a filled in circle, or instead of a parenthesis, this time you could do a bracket. And then similarly, over here on the other side, if I did x is greater than or equal to -2, same idea as the graph above it, but instead of a parenthesis, I'm going to do a bracket. So I'm putting -2 on my graph, -3, -1. I'm still shading to the right of -2. But this time I'm going to do a bracket at -2 instead of a parenthesis. Okay, so that should have been review up to this point, just reviewing what an interval is. It's a set of numbers. It's how many numbers are in each of these intervals? A lot. Infinity numbers, right? There are infinite numbers in this set, infinite numbers in this set, so on and so forth. Okay, so interval notation is a faster way of writing an interval. It might take a little bit of getting used to, but you are going to use this every week in college algebra. I can't say every day, but at least every week in college algebra, you're going to be using interval notation. Okay, so it's really important that you understand interval notation. Interval notation, just really quick reminder, we kind of went over this up here. If you have a less than or a greater than sign, you're going to be using parentheses. If you have a less than or equal to or a greater than or equal to sign, not assignment, you're going to be using brackets. Okay, I'm going to add to that in a minute. So I'm just going to write over here in this part because I'm going to add a few more notes over there. Okay, so our first problem we're going to do, let's do x is greater than 2. We're going to graph it and then we'll write it interval notation. The reason why it's easier to graph first, or the reason why we're graphing, is it's easier to write interval notation if you look at a graph first. So if we graph this on a number line, I need the number 2. Is the number 2 going to have a parenthesis or a bracket? Parenthesis at the number 2, and then am I shading to the left or to the right? To the right, because it's greater than. A little hint, if your x is first and then you have your sign, this inequality sign matches this arrow on your number line. X has to be first though for that to work. Okay, the way you write interval notation kind of looks like an ordered pair. There's 2 places to write information with a comma in the middle, and then it has parentheses or brackets on the outside. So when we write it, we write left to right because we read left to right. So we're going to read this set of numbers from left to right. So going from left to right, what's the first number that I get to? 2. Okay, so 2 is the first number in your interval. 2 has a parenthesis on it. Would you agree that 2 has a parenthesis on it on the number line? Okay, so it starts at 2, comma. Where does this number line end at? Infinity, because it goes on forever to the right. Okay, so it ends at infinity. Infinity always has parentheses. Okay, you can never put a bracket on parentheses because you can never actually get to infinity and include it. Okay, so that's a little note I'm going to put over here. Infinity, and we also, the infinity on the other side is called negative infinity. Always use parentheses, never brackets. Okay, I'm gonna turn my paper over, but I'm still gonna come back and write one thing up here. Okay, so our next problem, if we had the problem, x is less than or equal to -4. Graphing on a number line. We're going to put -4 in the middle. Which way am I shading? To the left or to the right? To the left. And then is it a bracket or a parenthesis? A bracket. So this time, starting at the left, what's the furthest number over here on the left? It starts at -infinity. Okay, so this starts at -infinity. Negative infinity always has a parenthesis. Where does this set end at on the right? It ends at -4, and -4 has a bracket on it. Okay, this is the one that students usually write backwards. Usually people put -4 to -infinity here, and that's a super common mistake. -infinity always has to go in the first spot in your like set of parentheses or brackets, because -infinity is always the starting point no matter what. So if you are writing with infinities or negative infinities, negative infinity will always be on this side. Positive infinity will always be on this side. Okay, like this is a number with a parenthesis or a bracket. Negative infinity will always be on the left. Positive infinity will always be on the right. You cannot have those switched. Okay, so let's do a couple more of those. What about if I had x is less than, not negative, x is less than 5? Take like 1 or 2 minutes and graph that and write that in interval notation. If you graphed on the number line, you should have a parenthesis shaded to the left. And then if you're going to write that in interval notation, it starts at -infinity and it ends at 5, and 5 has a parenthesis. So it looks like that. So -infinity to 5 with a parenthesis. Questions about that? Also, just a heads up, your college algebra teacher may say the parenthesis is not included and the bracket is included. So some people read this -infinity not included to 5 not included. Like they say not included for the parenthesis. So over here, it'd be -infinity not included to -4 included. Does that make sense? So just kind of a heads up. It depends on who your college algebra teachers. They may say that included or not included instead of the parenthesis or the bracket. Okay, so the good news is that was the hard part. The next part is the easy part. Okay, so one super awesome benefit of interval notation is when we have compound inequalities. Compound inequalities are kind of hard to read and kind of hard to understand, but they're really easy with interval notation. So 2 is less than x is less than or equal to 7. So usually students are okay with inequalities until we get to like the double inequalities, and then it's like, well, what does that mean? Okay, so let's kind of break it down on a number line. Obviously, we need the numbers 2 and 7, right? So I'm gonna put 2 over here and 7 over here. You can put the numbers in between if you want to, you don't have to. Okay, so I'm gonna cover up part of my inequality. I'm gonna cover up the 2 in the sign. So it just says x is less than or equal to 7. X is less than or equal to 7. What is it going to be, a bracket or a parenthesis at 7? A bracket, because it's x is less than or equal to 7, right? Are we going to be shading to the left or to the right of 7? To the left, because it's less than. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way over, but that's the 7 part. So now let me cover up the 7. This says, there's 2 ways to read this. This says 2 is less than x, or if you like read it backwards or flipped it all the way around, it would say x is greater than 2, right? Because the x is on the side that opens on the
alligator mouth or whatever you call it. So you could read this as x is greater than 2. So at 2, am I going to have a bracket or a parenthesis? A parenthesis because it's not equal to, right? The bracket's for if it's equal to. So 2 is a parenthesis, and if x is greater than 2, I'm shading this way. So this says all the numbers that are bigger than 2 but less than or equal to 7. What kind of numbers are in this interval? Give me an example. 3, 5, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Okay, there's infinity numbers in that interval, even though it's a tiny little interval. Okay, so interval notation here, where does it start at on the left? 2 with a parenthesis. Where does it end at on the right? 7 with a bracket. Okay, so that was even easier than the ones with the infinities, I feel like. Okay, one more super quick one. What about if I said all real numbers? Uh-oh. If I was going to shade that on a graph or put that on a number line, let me stick a number in the middle. Let me put 0 there in the middle. What would I shade there? Everything, right? Shade everything on the left. Shade everything on the right. What is interval notation for all real numbers? Where does it start at on the left? Negative infinity. Where does it end at on the right? Positive infinity. So negative infinity to positive infinity is all real numbers. Okay, we're going to stop there.